Well, friends and family, as you can see, we're back in the old Pocus. Yep. And then another beautiful day here in Alabama. It's nice and sunny. 72 degrees. And we got us some new shoe or hoof, whatever you want to call it, on the Pocus. Yep. Got a brand new tire. And as luck would have it, we were real fortunate. The rim wasn't bent, wasn't cracked. But hey, we made out okay. Well, other than the fact that the tire was blowed out. That sort of kind of sucked. But that's just the way life is. But I haven't drove it since I got that done to it. So I wanted to check it out, make sure you know suspension wasn't bothered, nothing was broke or bent, the bearings were good, brakes, you know, all that thing, which is something you should check anytime you have an impact like that. And I can tell you, we hit her hard. There's no doubt about that. When we hit that curb, we had to be doing 35-40. So, since I was going to take it out on just a, short road trip, I'd bring all of y'all along so you could enjoy this beautiful afternoon with these here clear, bright blue skies. See if we got any color starting on the trees. I seriously doubt we got much, because that's just the way it is here in South Alabama. Yep, but we have had cooler overnight temperatures, getting down into the 40s, low 50s. So I was wondering myself, do we got any beauty going on? And so far it looks like we got a whole lot of green. And along the way, like always, I thought we could chat some. Now I hope all of y'all are buckled in and you'll behave, not fight between yourselves, and we can just chit chat back and forth about anything you want to. I got a few things I want to chit chat about. Like always, I just can't take a ride and keep my mouth shut. So hey, we're off and we're on an adventure. Not much one, we just riding around, okay? Oh yeah. You can't beat this right now. Now I'm seeing some flashing red lights way up there in the distance. Well, that's concerning. Well, I think that might be fire. Yep, could be an ambulance. We'll just have to go on up there, check it on out and see. Nope, I was mistaken. It was a school bus, because it's that time of the afternoon. Yeah, it is. They were dropping off the youngins right there. Yeah, my old eyes aren't what they used to be, so I couldn't tell that far off. I'm seeing a little yellow, mostly just green and brown. But things here in Alabama, as you saw when I took y'all to my locally owned, family owned superfoods, we doing okay. Now granted, that wasn't Walmart, wasn't one of them there Costco's, Publix, Whole Foods, Ingles, Safeway, what have you. It ain't like we got a lot. We got Walmart and we got 2 superfoods. That's all we got. Now, I could travel to the capital city and make a day of it. Or I could travel, you know, to Auburn. Here again, making a day of it. I'm just not going to do that anymore. Like I used to do with the family. That whole grocery trip cost me, what'd I say, $141? And I won't go back again for probably a month and a half, 2 months. Well, there's another little school bus. We're getting lucky on them school buses. We ain't had to stop yet, but that'd be okay. That's just another thing. Of course, here on the internet, you'll see all the time where people just blow by them, pass them. And then, on occasion, you see the aftermath where some poor child has been hit, injured, and even sometimes killed. Yep, that's tragedy. But like I was saying, when we took your soup foods and everything, I know the supply chain is all messed up like which God hadn't seen in my lifetime, and I'm sure in many of y'all's, for whatever reason. Could it be a shortage of truckers? Well, some say it could. Shortage of container chassis? Yep, makes sense to me. Some say it could. Yep. Could it be, you know, the fact that California passed a law that said trucks that were any older than 2011 couldn't operate in their state? Well, that probably had a big impact. I'm just thinking. Especially for independent owner-operators that neither want or can afford to buy a new truck every 5 years. Sure, that had a big impact. And then, of course, there was always the fact that up until here recently, the ports weren't even running 24/7 like even I thought they would have been. You know, like most factories do throughout America. When I worked in, at the very least, we ran 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Most weeks we ran 24/6, and on occasion when needed, we ran 24/7. And it didn't even take the President of the United States to tell us to do that. Nope. We knew we had to do it to meet the demand. So, you know, the ports already knew they should have been doing that. But then the simple fact is that just because the president or the government wants something to happen, don't mean it can or will. Nope. And from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, that ain't happening. Of course, when they said it, I knew it wouldn't. That all gets back to, you know, shortage of truck drivers, shortage of truck chassis, new trucks, you know. Always make sure you check both ways, so ain't no fool coming trying to run over you like what happened the other day, even though I checked, because you never know when another person's going to be speeding, thinks he's so important, and where he needs to go is more important than anybody's life along his travels. But that ain't happening in the ports. Knew it wasn't gonna. But there is a whole lot of theories going on. Some of them are way out there and rather insane. And I think it promotes people to get real anxious, disturbed, downright worried. You know, and something we've seen all throughout this situation we've been facing through 2020 and now 2021 has been an extreme spike in suicides. Yeah, you can look that up. And you might wonder why. Well, just sit back for a minute, get out a piece of paper, and write down what all these people are saying. All the conspiracies, events, all their whatever. All the ways America's going to be attacked. Its people are going to be taken over, killed, destroyed. It just goes on and on. Not that it ain't bad enough to begin with. That can have an effect on a person, especially when that person is either unemployed, underemployed, living at or significantly below the poverty line, such as many seniors are in this great nation. And it just comes to mind, well, is it even worth carrying on? And some people out there, some of y'all, have actually worried that old Mr. Tom might have that in mind. Well, you can put that out of your mind right now. Yep, I get down. I get anxious. I get worried. But you know how I fix that? First of all, I look into the situation. I dig hard. I get all the facts. Not from no talking head here on YouTube. Another thing that I always have, that I can always count on, is my God. I know He wants what's best for me, and I know He's got my back. And thirdly, I got my family, my son, my daughter, my grandson, close friends, family, and all of y'all out there in YouTube. And you know what? That's what some of y'all forget. Those of you who are here with us on the channel and the community and are constant contributors to the comments, I've told you a million times, I read every comment. I respond to the ones I can, especially those who ask questions. And you wouldn't believe how much time that takes in a day. Lord knows I wish I had a paid staff that could respond to all of them. But I don't. But don't forget, you're not alone either. You may be sitting in a little apartment, mobile home, drafty, cold, hungry. But all you gotta do is whip out that phone, drag the keyboard out, and you can chat with all of us. Yes, you can. And I'm gonna tell you what, from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, I keep an eye out for those. And if old YouTube will notify me, I'll jump on it right then when I see it. That ain't always the case. But you know, along with the fact, you know, we got some shortages out there and all that, like I said, there's just all these theories on this here supply chain issues. One of which, you know, all those containers sitting out there off of LA and Long Beach. As much as I could not believe it, there's a whole pile of people that actually believe there could be Chinese troops in those containers. Little do they know that would not be possible. I mean, the average voyage from China to here is anywhere from 15 to 18 days. You know, if weather's good. And then those container ships been sitting out there for 2, 3, sometimes 4, 6 weeks. You know, how are those there Chinese troops in those boxes, which ain't air conditioned, out in that sweltering heat, blazing sun? I'm gonna tell you, inside them gets hot. How they eating? What are they doing with all their waste byproducts, if you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, that's just, in my mind, that's just silly and unnecessary to even talk about. Then the latest one is, okay, they finally all come to the fact that, you know, that probably ain't probable. Well, what if that's all the Chinese army supplies? Oh yeah, because it's been said, biggest problem China would have with invading the U.S. is the fact they don't have a supply line, and getting supplies would be hard to impossible. Well, if you know anything about World War II, you'd know it ain't impossible, because that's exactly what we did for the UK and Europe. We were the supply, not only of men, but food, medical supplies, goods, ammo, military hardware, everything else. Now, what has prompted this latest theory that all those containers are filled up with supplies for the Chinese army? It's because all over the country now, certain people, I won't name, you know, preppers, are going around and showing all these containers in Walmart parking lots, yeah, and other stores. Yeah, what are they all doing here? Now, they leave out the simple fact that they've been there before, and if they didn't notice them, that's their bad. You see, I know every year, since I can remember, since the creation of, you know, that evil day, Black Friday, that I will not do, Walmart, your other big box stores, Costco, Sam's, Lowe's, Home Depot, and many others, they buy a pile of stuff ahead of time, and they stockpile it primarily for Big Friday, yep, and the holiday season, out being Halloween, Thanksgiving, and that other big one, Christmas. Been doing it ever since I can remember. Surely they have. Now, I've seen them here in my local Walmart, and the ones in Montgomery and Auburn. Every year they'll show up in the parking lot or behind the store, and then around sometime in the springtime they all seem to disappear. Never, not once, did I see any Chinese or Russians, just saying, pop out of them containers. No, never did. Which gets me back to what I'm saying here. And you can not like me, I don't care. I'm tired of the insanity on social media. You see, I really don't think these people actually believe the crap that's coming out of their mouths. If they do, then we got more problems in America than worrying about the damn Chinese and Russians sneaking into our country in container boxes, as well as all these containers all around America are filled with their supplies to supply their army. Yeah. And what even disturbs me more is not a single person ever holds these people accountable. Nobody. I used to. And I got more hate from their followers than likes which God has seen. Since many that follow them also follow mr.tom, I lost subscribers. Well, not that I care. As you well know, if you've been on the channel any time, I don't care. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. It's a free country. Still, last time I checked. And it all gets back down to what I'm sort of getting to be a broken record here of late. You know, we all know what it's all about. And social media's got more to be a cesspool and money grubbing business than social media is. Of course, they had good teachers. They had social media to teach them how. Because I mean, these channels that are pumping out this kind of stuff every day, they grow like wildfire. And I read the comments, I sit in the live chats, and it just flabbergasts me how many people are all sitting in the stands nodding their heads back and forth. Oh yeah, you right, brother. You right, sister. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying China might not invade us. They could. Hell, Japan did, remember? They hit us in Pearl Harbor. That didn't work out too good for them, did it? Of course, I must admit, since World War II, we ain't been, overly on the winning side. But I guess, youngins, and my children, grandson especially, and this, my grandson hearing all this, and this is another thing, it gets back to the children hearing all this nonsense. Can you imagine what we're doing to our children? The anxiety that we're putting on them? The fear in their lives? I mean, post-traumatic stress disorder is real. And I cannot believe that these people, which many have children, are pumping this out to their kids. That's one thing I did all my life. I protect my children. You're going to have to kill daddy. But he's going to have to be stone cold dead now before you ever going to have a chance harming my children. And I didn't need to tell them that. Somehow, they already knew it. So while we were out here checking out the Focus today, which y'all let me know if y'all heard anything different. I didn't feel nothing. She seems to be tracking fine, not pulling to the left or the right, braking good and even, not pulling when you brake. I haven't heard anything, squeaking, cracking, squealing and such. So I think she's good. And you know what? I'm very thankful to God for that. Because because I know he had a hand in it. I'm also thankful to the fine people. Another family-owned and operated business, Parker Tire, in Tallahassee, Alabama. Brad Parker, yeah. I know him well. Known him for a long, long time. Fine man. Fine family man. And all the people that work there, fine folks. You know what they did? They just didn't mount my tire, balance my tire, which I can tell you, since there ain't no vibration or bouncing, they did a fine job. But they put it on for me, even though it wasn't on when I brought it. Didn't have to do that, but they did. They took my spare, instead of just chunking it in the trunk like many places would have done. Oh no, they put it back in its place. And not only did they do that, they put the jack back properly in its holder, jack handle, and they secured everything in just like the factory. Oh yeah. Now that's service. And you can say that's small town. Well, maybe it is. But see, Brad and his boys over there at Parker Tire, they live here in Tallahassee, Alabama, with their families, their friends. And we all know each other. And when that there crap hits the fan, that's going to be the most important thing anybody can have in their prepper pantry. Yep, gas sucks. 337.9. That sucks bad. That's the way it is here. Excuse me. Well, sun's getting low. Yeah, it was just one topic I wanted to talk about, because it just drives me crazy. And like always, you can love me hating or leave me. I'm just a little old country engineer living in the deep south. And that's the way I am, the way I feel. And I don't have beliefs, because you know, we engineers, we don't have beliefs. We have our maths, our science, our processes. That's what we have. Analytical minds. And we don't make it up. And if you ever heard it here, if I haven't been at least 99% sure, I ain't gonna say it. And we back on our street. No color. I don't know if y'all noticed, because I'd run my mouth all the time, but I was paying attention. No color, just greens, a little bit of yellow, a lot of browns. It's just the way of the South. Y'all that live up further north, they get all those beautiful yellows and oranges and ambers and, you know, just plain out beautiful. Now I envy you. I remember the fall, and the Adirondacks, New York, and the high steep mountains of PA. I still have memories, but they're fading. Here we are back at the old homestead, which is, you know, basically an old house on a half-acre of ground. Not much, but it's been good to me, and I ain't always been good to her. I'm gonna try to work on that some next year, should things turn around. But I just want to take y'all for a drive, let you enjoy the day. Watch that beautiful sky. You know, the colors. Wasn't much, but you know, a lot of green. There's a lot of beauty out there. You know, just gotta open your eyes to it. And I wanted to say something about all the nonsense going on social media. Well, y'all, there you have it. Took a little ride, checked out the beautiful sights and sounds of Alabama. That was a beautiful sky, if y'all were paying attention. There was an occasional red and amber there if you caught it. But other than that, it's green and brown. Maybe we'll have a little bit more color later. And I'll take you along for the ride. And we got a fishing trip coming up here in about a week or so. But, you know, ain't gonna be much, trust me. But today, I just need to get on out. Clear my mind, check out the focus, make sure my baby was all okay. And get something off my chest. There's so much going on now. So many conspiracy theories. Hypotheses, for lack of a better word. And trust me, they don't put due diligence and research into it for many people open their mouths. You know, hence the thing about the Chinese troops being camped out in the containers. Yeah. They might be rugged, but they ain't that darn rugged. You know, and if you sit down and analytically look at it, or if you know anything about it, those containers on those ships, it ain't like they can come and go as they please. And it ain't like they're not sealed. Oh yeah, they have seals. All shipping containers have a seal on the outside. 2 of them. And they're locked, okay, from the outside. As I might say, are the containers in all of the big box stores. Oh yeah. When they arrive, they have a seal, which is cut by the customer. See, I know all these things because I've dealt with international shipping containers most of my life. Yep. Unfortunate as that might be. I would rather it have not been, and we had manufactured everything in America. But the powers to be, not just the government, corporations, yeah, it was, but mostly because of us. We want them cheap goods. And if you sit down and think about it for a while, who's at fault for our current situation? The finger goes out and comes right back around and points at us. And for those of us who've been around for decades know that's the absolute truth. We did it to ourselves. And now it's going to be up to the young'uns to undo it, if they have the will and the stamina. As far as all those containers being all around the country at, you know, Walmart's, Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco, Sam's, oh my God, Target, everything else you can think of. Yeah. If you sit back and actually think about it, and you ain't got no agenda, you ain't got no fork in the spuds, no money on the plate, you know, they've been there every year for a very long time. At least as long as I can remember there being a Black Friday. Yeah. Because you know what happens on Black Friday. If any of y'all go participate in that, good for you. No, I did it once or twice when I was younger. After seeing the mayhem, the crowds, what people are willing to do to each other just to get that, you know, $29 TV, I said, nope, I wasn't participating anymore. And I haven't. I'm not going to go shove people, knock them down, beat them over the head just to get me a deal. And because of that, That's where we are today. Hence why we're in the situation we are today. Not because we're willing to do all that to people. We were willing to do all that to get them cheap goods in the first place. The government didn't even have to head us in that direction. And like I say, you know, the theory there that all those containers filled up with supplies for Chinese seems to be the current thought, or the Russians. Could be, might be. Hell, you know what? Could be the army of the Sudan. I'm just saying. The chances of that, slim, none, impossible. And probably about as probable is one day in your life you getting hit by a meteor and struck dead. I'm just saying. Maybe not impossible, but it's probably about that probability. And you might wonder why I would go drive and talk about such things. You see, I have children. And, you know, they're in their 30s. But I have a very special grandson that I might add just recently turned 14 years old. Yeah, he did. Not all that too long back. And he's a special child. And I've talked about that in the past. And I know me and my mother have, his mother, not mine, my daughter Ashley, have spent a lot of time talking about, you know, how anxious and stressed and distraught he gets when he hears about all this stuff, not only on mainstream media, but social media. Now, she tries her best, like I surely hope most parents do, to keep most of this away from them. But, you know, you can't be there 24/7. And nowadays, most children have their phones, access to computers, and what have you. And that's why I wanted to do this video. Now, I know the people that are involved in this crazy crap, and I'll call it that right now. They may not have children now, but once upon a time they did. And they probably surely know people who do have, and or they may have grandchildren. Are they sitting them down, allowing them to watch this stuff that spews out of their mouth? Somehow, I think not. Yeah. That is why I wanted to do this video. And like I always say, you can love me, you can hate me, or you can leave me. Ain't gonna make no difference. You know what? If you just sit down for a second, think without getting your panties all up in a wad or your tidy whities, then you'll understand maybe what you're doing and the reasons you're doing it aren't worth the cost to the ones you love. That's all I'm saying. I've never sold my principles out, my honor or my character, for the almighty dollar, George, nor Benjamin, Lincoln, Hamilton, or any of them. Never have. And I never will. And Lord knows I've been in some situations where it wasn't all about the money. It was about, can you take the pain and still stand up to it. That's why I did this video. So I know those people out there doing it for whatever reasons they're doing it, they'll never see this video. And then if some of them do, I'm sure it'll be thumbs down. Now I can live with that. Because when I do videos of this nature, I already brace myself to break a record. And thumbs down. But if you've stopped along the channel, you sat with the old man, and along the way you've used this instead of this, and when the video ended, you thought, you digested, you went to your phone, you went away from the talking heads, social media and mainstream media, and you started digging into the facts. And then maybe you'll come back and give the old man a thumbs up too. And if you find somebody out there that's anxious, distraught, at their wits' end by all the events that have been happening in 2020 and 21, and you think they might need some uplifting. They might see the need from the light at the end of the tunnel. An optimistic view, and not a doom and gloom, end of life view. Send them on over. Because all during this channel, it's been about what I do, how I do it, whether it be gardening, cooking, fixing things, Makita crew, which Spooky's having a lot of fun with my foot right now. He's just happy to see me home. Or whatever it is that I do. See, I look for the positive in life. I don't always look for the negative. In fact, I try to avoid it. But just like you, when these things come up on social media, you know, at first, especially when it gets to be a whole bunch of people, yeah, it starts to affect me right here. And then it starts to affect me here. And that's when I got to dig into it and see what it's all about. I got to get to the facts. And there was one time in my life, you know, like I said, I'm a professional engineer. I was one of them for a goodly portion of my life. But before that, you might say I was an analyst. Because that's what certain people said I was good at in life. And of course, analytical mind, the analytics, has really served me well in engineering. And anybody who is an engineer, wanting to be an engineer, or has been an engineer, will tell you, you got to have an analytical mind. And that's just how I look at it. I analyze facts. I don't analyze beliefs, opinions, thoughts. You see, that's where that could, might, may, possible comes in to the play. Yeah. In all reality, anything could happen. Anytime is possible. It all gets back to that, what we used to call it, mathematical probability. Yeah. And the two things I talked to today, imminent Chinese invasion, the fact that, you know, they already have all their supplies all across America, even though, you know, who's got the keys to all those storage containers? Yeah, me and a good friend were talking today. Some $8.25 Walmart employee. Yeah. Oh, by the way, they also use those storage containers to put many people's layaways in. Yeah. I'm just throwing that in there, which I'm sure many of these people knew about too. But see, full of Halloween junk, Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff that don't sell views and don't get subscribers. But talking about the government giving up, selling us out to China, oh yeah, troops being in the box and their supplies already here for them. Yeah, apparently. That allures a lot of people. And like I said during that drive, because of that, we got a far more serious problem in the great nation of America and worry about the infinite possibility of a Chinese invasion here on our soil. And that's the way it is here in my America on October the 27th, 2021. Till we see you again on the next video, I, the Kitty Crew, Spooky, Speedy, Cleo, sometimes Elrod Magoo, and occasionally the big kitty Stella. See you on that next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there. Prep and prepare as you must, and you won't. May God bless each and every one of you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. Ready for chow call, Spooky? Go ahead and get all cleaned up. You know how I am. You got to wash up before supper. You hear me? You hear me? You do. You just a big old kitty. You are the big man. You the big man. Okay. You the big man. You the big man. You love me and I love you. You silly boo. Still got some dry poo. Well, where's that Speedy? Speedy. Yeah. What you say? Speedy, Speedy. Speedy. You gonna talk. You gonna talk. You gonna talk. You gonna let me put a collar on you? Probably not. Okay, I'm going in to get the good stuff. Okay? I gotta fix Gracie up too, okay? Okay. Later all. And good night.